Top 10 oldest film footage of cities around the world. Pictures and videos have become common, and we can hardly imagine life without them. From TV and movies to social media to our phone gallery, the camera has become an integral part of society, but it was not always so. In the 1890s, a man in the street with a camera invited puzzled stares and confused passers-by. For this video, we have crisscrossed the World Wide Web, searching for the oldest film footage to create the perfect time machine. Here are the top 10 oldest film footage of cities around the world. 1. Bohemia, Austro-Hungarian Empire. In 1876, Charles Smith Hurd visited the small Bohemian village of Horice in Šumava, now known as Horice na Šumavě in the present-day Czech Republic. Hurd was a representative of the famous filmmakers, the Lumiere brothers. In Horice, passion plays depicting Christ's suffering were a tourist attraction. It had been performed since 1816 and developed into an elaborate performance that featured local actors and professional staff. Hurd was inspired to film the performance and got the Lumiere brothers on the project. He negotiated a contract of 1,500 Austrian florins for the actors and a 5-year $2,000 contract for his company. The Horice Passion play was shot at the Village Theatre, and the villagers were filmed as they left the theater. The footage leaves a lasting impression on viewers as we get a glimpse of the simple village life. The hat-waving of the men, the sheepish grins of the children, and occasional looks of bewilderment are all captured in the film. Unaware to the villagers, they were present at the making of history. The Horice Passion play is the first ever feature film, and they witnessed it. 2. Livorno, Italy. On August 6, 1899, Venice was launched in Livorno, Italy, to the excitement of spectators who cheered and waved their hats as it sailed past, trailed by foam. The Lumiere Film Company filmed the footage of its departure. The ship was laid down at the historical Cantiere Navale Fratelli Orlando on January 24, 1898, and was completed on April 5, 1901. It was 366 feet 10 inches long and had 24 Bedeville boilers for its 10,100 kilowatt steam engines. It also had a top speed of 20 knots. Venice was named after the Battle of Venice of the Second Italian War of Independence. Before being assigned to the Mediterranean Fleet during the Italo-Turkish War, she had several deployments to the Eastern Mediterranean and Levant. She also saw action in World War II. From 1920 to 1922, it was reclassified as a cadet training ship, and in 1923, it was scrapped. 3. Nihonbashi, Tokyo. Tokyo is one of the most populated cities in the world and also one of the most technologically advanced. It is also an economic powerhouse, and 37 Fortune 500 companies have offices in the city. It is hard to imagine Tokyo without giant billboards, skyscrapers, and high-speed trains. Fortunately, we have our time machine. Footage of Nihonbashi, Tokyo in 1897 leaves us perplexed as we find the beloved setting without its heavy adornments of modernization. In the footage, we see a busy Tokyo with people going about their business. An interesting point in the scene is the arrival of a man in a rickshaw. It greatly contrasts present-day Tokyo with its tarred roads and sports cars. Tokyo began as a fishing village called Edo. It became the seat of the Tokugawa shogunate in 1603, and after the fall of the Tokugawa, it became the capital and was renamed Tokyo. Today, it is one of the most important cities in the world and is the seat of both the Japanese government and the Emperor of Japan. 4. Drury Lane, London. In 1896, a trio of female dancers performed on Drury Lane, London to a small group of male spectators. Trivial as it might seem, the film footage gives us a peek into the growing wave of feminism in Europe at the time. Women were no longer confined to domestic affairs. They could dance on the street without being spat on. The 19th century was marked by a growing interest in women's rights. Unlike today, women had few rights. They could not vote, own property, work outside their homes, or even divorce their husbands if they suffered domestic violence. They were dependent and controlled by the dominant male figures in their lives, whether their fathers, husbands, or brothers. The first feminist wave occurred between 1850 and 1940. The pursuit of equal legal rights for women in education and the workplace characterized it. Women wanted equal education opportunities as men and refused to be paid fractions of what their male colleagues got for the same work. Women's suffrage was also a highlight of the movement. 5. France. Who said a three-piece suit, a bowler's hat, and ice skates do not go well together? No matter how odd it'll be to go to an ice rink on a Saturday and find everyone skating in Victorian clothes, it will definitely be classy to have someone tip their hat to you as you skate past. This footage was recorded in 1898 and shows we are not so different from our grandparents. The 1800s were not just politics, women's suffrage protests, and numerous scientific breakthroughs. There were also banal leisure activities, and it was fun. It was before Facebook and Instagram, and going outdoors in a three-piece suit or full-length wool gown to spend time with others was common. It was not a utopia, but it was not a blue-tick mania either. 6. Paris, France. Here's an interesting side note. While building our time machine, we found a comment from a woman on this footage that was nothing but impressive. The woman had stumbled on the footage and recognized one of the women as her deceased grandmother in her prime. It was the late 1890s and Paris was still as classy as we remember. There is heavy traffic and not a single automobile in sight. Stagecoaches traversing the streets, a horse-drawn fire brigade rushing to a fire, occasional puzzled looks from passers-by. Remember, a camera on the road was still novel. In the 1890s, several tragedies rocked France. The steamship Persia wrecked off Corsica and 130 lives were lost. Legendary painter Vincent van Gogh died, and the First and Second Franco-Bohemian War was fought, amongst others. In the background of so much grief, the mundane life of Parisians became a blessing. 7. France. We are still in France, and if you are grumbling, remember the third time's the charm. This time it is 1898, and we are with President Felix Francois Faure as he enters a ceremony with a crowd. The election of President Felix Faure was unexpected, and we doubt many at that time understood the valid reason he was elected. In 1894, Faure was the Minister of Marine under Prime Minister Charles Dupuy. When President Casimir Perier resigned the following year, his replacement had to come from the moderate Republican Party, and there were several factions, each with their preferred candidate. The dilemma was that picking either of them would cause disunity. The next president had to be someone who did not offend any faction and would therefore unite the party. Felix Faure fit the description, and he was elected president. President Faure's administration helped improve the relationship between France and Russia. He played the quintessential leader, although his administration did not accomplish much politically. Somewhat ironically, his elegant image was marred after his death, for he died while during sexual intercourse with a mistress. 8. Venice, Italy. Pigeons are found on every continent except Antarctica, and pigeon feeding is just as common as the birds. Feeding these gentle birds in the park is more therapeutic than people realize, and it is not uncommon for regular pigeon feeders to give names to their friends. Pigeon feeding in 19th century Venice was just as popular as it is now. In this video, a woman and a man feed flocks of pigeons that flutter around them hungrily. Obviously enjoying herself, the woman laughs as she looks at the camera. 9. Scheveningen Boulevard in the Hague, Netherlands. None of these people would have thought that 125 years later, we would be watching them from smartphones. We can tell from the puzzled looks on their faces as they notice the camera. Scheveningen attracts tourists yearly, and the boulevard is a favorite stop. The fanciful shops, exquisite restaurants, and of course the pier soothes their culture-mongering spirits. Anyone from 1898 Scheveningen would find it has hardly changed, except the fashion. Popping out of a wormhole dressed in Victorian fashion would leave you the odd piece on the streets, or maybe you will be accepted as the new rave in fashion. You can never tell on 21st century Earth. 10. Venice, Italy. In 1896, Pope Leo XIII appeared on film for the first time during his visit to Venice. He was the first pope to appear in film footage, and the scene was recorded by the inventor of the motion picture camera, W.K. Dixon. He was also the first pope whose voice was recorded. Born Gioacchino Vincenzo Raphael Luigi Pecci, he chose the name Leo in honor of Pope Leo XII, who he admired. He was the first pope crowned after the Catholic Church lost all the papal states, territories they had sovereignty over. Mitigating the loss was a primary concern for his papacy. He was titled Pope of the Workers due to his famous 1891 encyclical Rerum Novarum, where he prompted several pro-workers topics like fair wages and the formation of trade unions. Pope Leo XIII was stricken by pneumonia and died on the 20th of July, 1903, at age 93. He remains the oldest pope to have served in office. It has been a thrilling trip through time, and we hope you enjoyed every passing second of it. Thank you for staying with us till the end. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and do not forget to tap the bell to avoid missing out on more amazing videos coming your way. Thanks again for watching, and bye for now.